Vielen Dank, Herr Daul. Das Wort hat für die.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Daul. On behalf of the SND, Mr. Swoboda. President.
Into this hemicycle. But the times are not easier. They become more difficult. The recent data on youth unemployment is that youth unemployment still is rising. It was much lower when you left this House. We have a political crisis in several countries in connection, of course, with the economic policy, what we will call with this extreme austerity, for example, in Greece, and we still wait for the opening of the public radio and television. In Portugal, resignations of ministers because of the situation and the lack of support by the citizens. Citizens don't understand anymore what is Europe doing, for example, in these countries. And the summit, so-called summit today, the more or less politically motivated summit in Berlin, will not change very much on the dissatisfaction of many people, and especially young people. Now you are proud, and you can be proud of the success in Lithuania and all other Baltic countries on overcoming the crisis, but still unemployment is high, and still we know that the Baltic countries, and also Lithuania, exported some of the unemployment to other countries. Nevertheless, I expect or demand from you to be helpful in overcoming this north-south divide we very often have, because you have to demonstrate good examples in efficient administration, in readiness for innovation, in the digital economy you mentioned. And for me, it's not saying, okay, we did it better than you, but it's a learning process, a mutual learning and understanding process between the north and the south, but also, of course, east and west. By this occasion, I want to underline the importance of the Vilnius summit, and I hope also from this side on the House that we don't see this party politically primarily, but geopolitically, because it will be very, very important to bring countries like Georgia and Ukraine away from the hand of Mr. Putin, who is ready to, with one hand, to give something, with the other hand, to take something. We only have to give, but then we should be ready and should be helpful to make the summit in Vilnius a real success. Nevertheless, President, the social dimension for us in the Socialist Group is very, very important. I know there was some arguing when the Social Affairs Committee visited you about the social dimension, but it's not only us socialists. The IMF is not a real socialist organization, but the recent study says it shows that fiscal consolidation has typically led to a significant and persistent increase in inequality, declines in wage income and in the wage share of income, and increases in long-term unemployment. Fiscal consolidation that are unduly hasty pose risks to the recovery. So countries with the scope to do so should opt for a slower pace of consolidation combined with policies for support to growth. I'm not against fiscal consolidation, not at all, but we have to have an economy and we have to have an EMU which is combining fiscal consolidation, growth and investment, and the social dimension. Because I wish you much success in the presidency, but for us, the success of the presidency is also connected in the defense of the social dimension. Because only if people see the reality and see that their social needs are also met, and not only the economic need, not only the money going to the banks, but also the support to the citizens, then we can speak of a success. Otherwise, we'll have more and more crises. Thank you very much.
Das Wort hat für die Fraktion der Liberalen.
On behalf of the Liberals and Democrats, Mrs. Wikström.
Thank you very much indeed, President. I would like to begin by, on behalf of the ALDE Group, welcoming you, Madam President, back to